5 surprising facts about The Godfather. Hey guys, today we're going to list 5 surprising facts about The Godfather. Let's get right into it. Number 1, film challenges. The author Mario Puzo wrote The Fortunate Pilgrim before The Godfather. Despite not being a commercial success, the novel featured a memorable dawn. In need of a bestseller, Puzo researched the underworld in order to expand the subject of another novel. As public interest in the mafia grew, producer Peter Bart attempted to acquire the film rights despite the fact that Puzo had only a 20-page outline. Even though his agent advised him against taking the deal, Puzo was unable to refuse the offer due to his gambling debts. Francis Ford Coppola's film, like Puzo's novel, follows the Corleone family from 1945 to 1955. To keep the budget as low as possible, Paramount sought to set the film in modern-day Kansas City and utilize the studio backlot. Coppola read an original script set in the 1970s and featuring hippies. Coppola not only desired to be faithful to the source material, but he also believed that the post-war subtext was essential. Coppola persuaded Paramount to make the film a period piece despite the higher cost. Additionally, the novel's New York setting was preserved by using 120 locations in and around the city. The film's cinematographer Gordon Willis added to the period atmosphere by filming it as a newspaper photograph in poor color. Number 2, post-production issues. The Godfather justifies its nearly 2 hours and 55 minutes of running time. Coppola was informed, however, that if the film ran longer than 2 hours and 15 minutes, the editing would be relocated from San Francisco to Los Angeles. Coppola removed nearly all plot elements that were not essential, bringing the film closer to the studio's desired length. When Paramount received this version, they discovered that many of the story's complexities had been eliminated. Coppola was informed that he had shot a movie but brought down a trailer. Despite the fact that the film regained its original length, it was edited in Los Angeles. In order to perfect the extended version, the release date was pushed back from Christmas 1971 to March 1972. In the meantime, Albert S. Ruddy pitched The Godfather to Gulf Plus Western executive Charles Bluhdorn as an ice blue terrifying film about the people you love. Ruddy was subsequently hired as the film's producer, but he would face a number of unusual obstacles. As the film drew unwelcome attention from the actual mob, Ruddy endeavored to maintain peace during production. Ruddy arranged a private screening of The Godfather for the Mafia, despite the fact that they were not invited to the premiere. Ruddy claims that the screening was so successful that the projectionist received a $1,000 tip. Ruddy would receive the Oscar for Best Picture for going above and beyond. We can't, however, understand why Ruddy gave up his sequel rights to produce The Longest Yard in light of everything he endured. Number 3, casting issues. Paramount was hesitant to cast the then relatively unknown Al Pacino as Michael Corleone, given that the character in the novel was tall and blonde. Pacino was contractually obligated to star in another MGM mob film, The Game That Couldn't Shoot Straight, making it unlikely that he could accept the role. Coppola persisted in his pursuit of Pacino, and Pacino eventually left the other mob film to play Michael. Ironically, Robert De Niro was cast as Paulie Gatto in The Godfather, but he dropped out to play the role in Gang instead of Al Pacino. When De Niro was cast as a young Vito Corleone in The Godfather Part 2, he repeated Marlon Brando's success at the Academy Awards. In the meantime, Paramount opposed casting Brando, who was notoriously difficult and fresh off a string of failures. However, Puzo believed that Brando was the only actor for the part and even wrote him a letter. Coppola persuaded the studio to allow Brando to screen test. Brando felt that Vito Corleone should have a bulldog appearance, so for the audition he stuffed cotton balls into his cheeks. Brando used a special mouthpiece in the film after impressing Paramount with his screen test. Developing a voice based on that of Frank Costello, Brando utilized cue cards throughout production, either to add spontaneity or because he did not memorize his lines. The risky casting was rewarded with the award for Best Actor. Not bad considering Brando's brief screen time of less than an hour. Number 4, Joe Colombo's campaign to stop the movie. The Godfather faced numerous obstacles on its way to becoming a cinematic classic. Compromising with the Italian-American Civil Rights League and mob boss Joseph Colombo was arguably the greatest obstacle. Fearing that the film would portray Italian Americans negatively, Colombo launched a campaign to prevent its release. Ruddy gave Colombo access to the script in order to reassure him that the film would not perpetuate stereotypical attitudes. Colombo ultimately gave his approval on the condition that all references to Mafia and Cosa Nostra were removed from the script. Ruddy's deal with the mob resulted in his temporary dismissal from the film, but Coppola assisted in his reinstatement. The Mafia eventually embraced the film despite initial negative reception from the Italian-American community upon its release. Number 5, improvised rehearsal meals. Realistic qualities are still praised in The Godfather, not only the gritty realism of mob life, but also its straightforward depiction of family. Coppola had his cast stay in character during an impromptu dinner at Patsy's Italian restaurant in New York in order to establish a genuine family bond prior to filming. They gathered in the back room around a family-style table, at the head of which was Marlon Brando. Al Pacino sat to Brando's right, while Robert Duvall and James Caan sat to his left. Talia Shire was also observed carrying Italian food platters. Brando began the event in Godfather fashion by pouring everyone wine. That's all for today. We'll be sure to catch you all in the next one.